I'm Corey Checkmate. Everybody already know who I am. This was a topic that was brought up by somebody in my group. If you ain't in the group, if it's facts over feelings, the conversations on Facebook, I send everybody on my page an invite. If you don't know what it is, I mean, I'm sure if you're on my page, you done got the invite a couple of times. So if you're ignoring it, that's just on you, player. So the topic was, does it make you less of a man to stay with a woman for the children, since you are trying to break the cycle of broken families on both sides? Good topic. I mean, I'm glad he brought it up. My response to this is, first of all, to stay in a relationship. 9 times out of 10, you asking because apparently it's a toxic relationship. No, it doesn't make you less of a man. First of all, let me get the less of a man out the way. No, it don't make you less of a man. I wouldn't advise staying in it just for the children, because I've met a lot of people who have stayed in relationships over years, getting mistreated, getting treated like dirt, and they just wanted their kids to have what they didn't have, so they stayed in a relationship. They took the BS and everything because they didn't want a divided family, because they grew up in a divided family and they felt like it'll be better for them and their kids. My advice on that, I wouldn't do it, because for one, if it's toxic, we already know it's going to get worse. Ain't nothing going to get better when you dealing with a toxic situation, point blank, period. That's why I take myself out of them type of situations. Another reason why I wouldn't do it is because, for one, if you toxic and your girlfriend toxic, you bringing toxic, you making your kids toxic. If you unhappy and your girlfriend unhappy, your kids are seeing this. You raising your kids in a bad environment. You know what I mean? So when you hurt and they hurt, when you hurt or your girlfriend hurt, they hurting too. They sitting back and they watching this. And a lot of kids will grow up around this type of stuff and think that's what love is, or think that's what a connection is, or that's how a relationship should be. And if it's that toxic, 9 times out of 10, the police gonna get called multiple times. Y'all gonna argue and fight in front of these kids, which brings trauma into their life that they don't need. So it's not helping the situation. Then, if it keeps on going down the hill, CPS gonna get involved and you gonna start to lose them. Let me see what you say. It doesn't. Hold on. It doesn't you less of a man. However, it is not healthy at this point. You are putting your peace and sanity at risk. I agree with that. That's why I said, if it's toxic, it's just going to get worse. If your sanity is, like she said, your peace and your sanity is at risk, you're going to have your anxiety attacks. You're going to flip out. You're going to come home in a miserable mood. Misery loves company. So out of the situation, one of them is miserable and the other one just wants to go. So if you keep it up, it's not going to get any better. You know what I mean? I don't see anything changing in that situation. So as far as my advice to it, I wouldn't. It's not fair to either party to be unhappy in a relationship. And then it shows toxicity. Just staying for them will show them to stay for any other reason, and it will make your kids think that that's what they need to do in their future. I kind of just said that. I mean, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's just, I get the whole, you want to break the family cycle of growing up, you know, without a dad, and people going through different situations of, I want this for my family, I want that for my family. Some things in life just ain't meant to be. As bad as you want it, some things just ain't meant to be. I mean, of course, you want to break that family cycle, and I understand that, because, shoot, I got a couple of family cycles I want to break. But if it causes my peace and my sanity, and we arguing and we fighting because apparently we're not happy, it's not going to do you no good to stay there. I mean, what are you going to accomplish by being there, being miserable, being probably about to lose your mind, and everything's just getting worse? It's not going to help the situation. So no, that don't make you less of a man. It just, as a man, I wouldn't see a point or a reason for staying, for being there. I mean, yeah, you said the kids, but if you love your kids, you wouldn't want your kids around anything like that. You try to protect your kids and take them out of harm's way. And with the whole relationship being toxic, you're not protecting them. You putting them in a worse predicament that they could be in if y'all were separate. You know what I mean? Let me see. And that's same for women. He said, I guess on both sides. I guess that's what he meant. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of girls sit there and be like, well, I don't want to leave him. You know, he provides. He's everything good for my kids. It's just we don't get along. And, you know, he can still be a father and y'all don't have to be together. Or she can still be a mom and y'all ain't in the, you know, same vicinity. Because anything toxic, you can't grow from. I mean, it's just... Then when your kids get older, they're going to have to take counseling. Then they're going to want to understand. I've met a lot of women who dealt with abuse because they grew up watching their dad abuse their mom and the mom stayed. So it's just like, okay, is this how we supposed to live life? Kids are a lot wiser than what we think they are. And we sit back and we smoking and we drinking and we arguing and we fighting. These kids ain't dumb. They know what's going on. They just sitting there soaking it up. They ain't gonna say nothing. Of course they not gonna say nothing. What they gonna say? You the parent. They gonna get scared to say something. So I tell a lot of people, like, leave that alone, because I've told multiple homegirls, if you bring your kids around this dude, I don't care if he is it's the baby's daddy or whatever, and this child is constantly see y'all fighting, that child is gonna adapt to that type of situation growing up in life. If that child is constantly seeing y'all cussing and argue or you beating them, when she get a dude and he beating on her and you telling her to leave him alone, but her whole life she don't watch her daddy beat you, she not gonna listen. Just like a lot of men grew up hitting women because they see their dad hammering on their mom, and they telling their mom, leave him, and mom don't want to go. So they grow up and they get to beating women. You know what I mean? We already know that ain't right, and I ain't promote beating women, of course, but you're a product of your environment. Your kids are a product of what they grow up around. So when you call your kids fast or saying they making bad decisions, if you don't raise them around these bad decisions, how can you be mad? I mean, if you wasn't strong enough to step away, you can't tell them to turn around and do the same thing. People think co-parenting requires a relationship. Really doesn't. It really don't. You know what I mean? You got family. If it's toxic, because I was in a toxic relationship. Me and my baby mama wasn't always eye to eye. You know what I mean? They got toxic with us. I didn't have to deal with her. I mean, I can call her grandma. I can call her dad. I can call her brother. Hey, I want to go see my daughter. Whoop de whoop. Can you tell her this? Because I don't want to communicate with her because this is just out of my character. It's too bad. Sometimes you just can't communicate, but you can communicate through other people. Same with baby daddies. Baby mamas. They got family. He got a mama. He got somebody you can talk to. And I know it ain't the same for everybody because some people don't have it. That's what in court comes in. I mean, you got visitation rights where you can, hey, let me drop my kid off here. And a lot of places, they do it at like a police station. So the baby daddy or baby mama can come up there and pick the child up and you ain't got to deal with them. You know what I mean? So my advice on that topic, I mean, I know I get what you getting at. Yes, you want to break that curse. Yes, you want that family together. But at the same time, if it ain't working, it ain't working. You know what I mean? I hope the best for you. But it's just something I wouldn't do. I mean, I can't say that for anybody else because I haven't been in anybody else's shoes. I'm just telling you through experience of what I've seen, people sitting there, and I don't want to leave because the kids are going to hate me or the kids are going to feel like it's my fault. That's control and manipulation to me because somebody feeding off one side is feeding off something. So, far as a coward, no. But far as a bad decision, yeah. I mean, it's not you being a coward because you want a family for your kids. But I would just say it's not a smart, thing to do. I wouldn't advise it, And hey, it's like I say, I'm gonna cut this one short because I ain't got nobody really on it. Normally I have multiple people with me, but I don't today. But this was a small topic. So my advice to you, no, it doesn't make you a coward. Two, is it a good idea? No. If you want what's best for your kids, leave it alone. Walk away. I mean, I know sometimes it hurts to walk away, and a lot of people say stuff is easier said than done, but I'd rather have a happy life and my kids see us separate than have a miserable life and our kids are sitting here arguing. I mean, watching us arguing and they crying and they paranoid because they don't know what to do. I would just let that go. So anybody else in my group, I do have more topics coming up. Um, I have a group chat on Facebook, so if you jump in the group chat, it's a lot of topics being there. Yes, I will respond to them. Corey Checkmate Palmer, and I'm out.